Let's get one thing straight. Most men touch women all wrong. They think it's about grabbing, squeezing, pushing. They go in with hands first and energy second. And then they wonder why the connection fizzles. Why she pulls back. Why it doesn't go deeper. Touch isn't physical. It's psychological. The kind of touch that makes her melt? It doesn't come from your hands. It starts in your eyes. Your energy. Your breath. The way you make her feel before you ever lay a finger on her. This isn't about moves. It's about presence. You want to touch her in a way she remembers days later, not because of pressure, but because of what you stirred inside her. So, if you're ready to learn the secrets, the real secrets, about how to touch a woman sexually and soulfully, keep watching. Touching a woman sexually doesn't start on her body. It starts in her head. Most men try to turn her on physically before she's even present emotionally. But the women who crave you long after the night ends? The ones who replay your touch? It's because you made her think before you made her feel. You tease her mind. Not with cheesy lines, but with energy. You hold eye contact a beat longer. You say something subtle, confident, and completely unexpected. You give her nothing obvious, but everything her curiosity can't ignore. When she's mentally leaning in, her body will follow. Make her chase the next word before you ever move a finger. The most underrated way to touch a woman? Stillness. In a world full of men who rush, who paw, who dive in like they're starving, stillness becomes power. A man who can slow things down, who doesn't chase the next move, who breathes like he owns the moment. That's the man who makes her tremble. Touch her without touching her. Stand close without reaching. Speak low and slow, then stop. Let the silence hang. She'll fill that space with anticipation. And the first time you actually touch her, it'll feel like thunder after a long, dry storm. Her neck, her spine, the inside of her wrist, that's where the nerves live. But this isn't about textbook erogenous zones. It's about touching her in a place that makes her remember who she is. The back of her shoulder when she's walking away. Her collarbone when she's laughing. The side of her waist when she's reaching for something. These aren't sexual in the obvious sense. They're emotional triggers. They say, I see you. Not, I want something. That's the kind of touch that disarms her. That slips under her walls. That makes her trust you and crave you. You want to be unforgettable? Make her lose track of time. Every man is trying to escalate. Touch here. Then here. Then here. Checklist mentality. She can feel it, and it turns her off, even if she doesn't say it. But when you slow down, pause, make her guess what's next, and then do something completely different, you hijack her nervous system. Now she's not in control. Now she's not following the script. Now she's feeling instead of thinking. And that's where the real intimacy lives, in unpredictability wrapped in safety. Performance is pressure, and pressure kills connection. Most men touch with a goal. If I do this, she'll do that. They treat seduction like a vending machine. But a real man, he touches with presence. He doesn't chase reactions. He observes them. He doesn't rush towards sex. He lets it rise like a slow tide. She feels him, not just on her skin, but in the way he sees her, hears her, responds to her breath, not her body. That kind of presence? It's rare. And that's why it's addictive. This one's for the men who are used to chasing. Stop. If you're constantly initiating touch, she never gets to show you what she wants. Give her space to reach. Let her come to you. Stand close. Say less. Let the silence build. If she's into you, her hand will find yours. Her leg will lean in. She'll invent a reason to close the gap. That's not just consent. That's desire. And when a woman initiates, even subtly, you're no longer pursuing. You're responding. That's where the power flips. And now you're in her mind, not just her hands. You think the magic's in the touch itself? You're wrong. The real power? It's in what you do after. How you pull her close after the kiss. How your fingers linger when she thought you'd stop. How you rest your hand on her leg while she talks, fully tuned in. It's in the slow exhale, the subtle smirk, the way you leave space instead of rushing in. Women remember the after feeling, the presence. The silence that buzzes. That's where most men lose her, right after they had her. Don't chase the climax. Hold the connection. Conclusion. The touch she'll remember isn't about your hands. Most men touch too soon. Too much. Too fast. But the men women remember? They barely did anything at all, but she felt everything. Because they understood the secret. The body is the last thing you touch. The mind comes first. The emotions come next. The body simply follows. So, if you want to touch her in a way she never forgets, start with your breath, then your eyes, then your silence, then your words, and finally, your hands, when she's already shaking from what she felt before you moved an inch.